Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. How's it going? I am in this flurry of activity today. Steve just came home from work early. They're kind of slow where he works, which is great and scary at the same time. Like, why are you so slow that you're coming home early? But it's nice to have him home, and he's taking care of the dog. So I'm hoping I don't have dog interference in the middle of this, right? So today I am excited. I have several things going on. First, we're going to make a fun card, an interactive card. I haven't had a chance to show this cool interactive die yet, and I want to show you how it works because this catalog will retire end of July. Now, that means we have a whole month and a half left, but we are going to get sidetracked next month by the new catalog because the new catalog starts in July. So right now is the time. I have to admit, people get a little bit of catalog fatigue. When it gets close to the end of a catalog, you're like, okay, let's move on. I've got everything I want out of there. Let's see what else is new. And so today I'm kind of focusing a little bit on the core because so many people will, not even look at it again after the first month or two that it comes out. You may not even know where yours is. So you can look at it online if you can't find it. I totally understand. And then I just want to point out a few things in it real quick. First of all, this stamp set I've shown multiple times. I'm really excited about it, but it's going away. There's always another, stamp set like it. They love to make these kind of distressed looking splotchy, dots and swipes and watercolor types of stamp sets, but they have announced that they're not going to be putting a ton of paper packs and stamp sets in the core catalog that starts in August. So this is a good one. This one's really good. I've shown it many times. There are some really great retiring stamp sets. Look at this. Isn't it great? The ice cream for summer. I've shown this before because it's one of my favorites because there's no coloring on it. We're going to use this birthday set today a little bit. And here is the set we're going to use today to make our card. So this is called a card front slider window, thin cut. Holy moly. A card front slider window. And we're going to use that today. I also wanted to show you, this is that wood grain piece that I keep showing you samples from. So, hi Stephanie, how's your day going? Are you getting weather? I keep hearing like they're getting weather on the East Coast area. And so these brackets, super popular, of course, and those are amazing to have. And then, of course, the stencils, which I have shown quite often. And actually, Stephanie, I am going to wait I'm going to wait till the end of June. Stephanie's the only one so far who has made a comment on my last week's VIP card to win a prize, and this is the prize, is this stencil set. So I hope that you guys will make a comment about why you love being a VIP. But the stencils are so fun, and lately I've been seeing a lot of fun cards with this one, and it looks like water. And so this one may be one I'm going to pick up. I had passed on it because I don't like the word and it comes as a set, and I thought, I won't use it. But now that I've seen some really cute things with that, I I'm gonna get it. Dang it. And then the Operation Smile, I want to call your attention to that because it's a really cool set. And I'm going to show you a page layout that I made using that. Yeah, you know, that that splotchy set is a really good one. This is the catalog that's getting ready to retire, and I have a trick that I want to show you after we make the card, okay? So I'm going to set that aside for a minute. And this is the sneak peek. Well, it's hardly a sneak peek. You should be starting to get this in the mail in the next couple of weeks. The people on my mailing list, this is the new supplement, and they have changed it to a 2-month July-August supplement. So is a 2-month. This is one of the paper packs. So hello, do you love the colors? Do you love how it looks? It basically shows all of the papers on this one page. So, you know, this is a cool page to recreate, and especially if you have one picture that you really want to highlight. I've noticed a lot of artwork is going back to one picture again, and I'm like, oh, I have way too many pictures for that. But then lately I've been kind of getting myself to, I've been trying to get myself to pull out those one-offs. Oh, and you know what? There was one other thing that I wanted to show you with that one die. Sorry. This is another interactive die, and I wanted to call your attention to it because it looks like nothing. It just looks like nothing. But what these do, you may remember when I made this card with the toilet paper that slides back and forth. And we cut that slot by hand. And you can certainly cut these slots by hand. I made this one a little big. That's why it's not rolling as well. But that is basically what these dies do, is they cut the notch in your card wherever you want it, and then it gives you like a front and a back little circle. If you remember this you know I love interactive things. So basically the way this works, I used a penny, foam tape, and an image, and then it just kind of sits on there like a rail, you know, and then it moves around your slider. So these are just different types of sliders, and then you basically do the same thing. And you don't have to cut this all by hand, which I can tell you I do it, and I've obviously done it, but I would make a lot more using the notches. And I didn't make this one today, but that's what they're showing you in the artwork in the catalog is, you know, the bird that slides back and forth, the bike that slides back and forth. You know, it's just kind of a cool idea. Now, I'm going to make one this week using the penny trick and one of the notches, and I'm going to use a turtle, because I think that one turtle in that set is going to rock and roll really cute. And I love this We're on a Roll. I may pull this stamp set back out and use that message again, because it's just so fun. It's fun. All right. Anyway, today, here's what we're going to do. This is the card front slider. It comes with 3 pieces, an A, a B, and a C. And then it has a little, I cut mine down so it'll fit inside the envelope. That's why it looks so cut off. But basically it says cut your pieces A, B, C, fold on the score lines. It shows you where to attach it and how the mechanism works. So I just thought, all right, we will make that today. So I have all the parts. Actually, I set them aside. I'm going to use this one since I have it already. So we have an A, a B, and a C, and I just cut it out of White Daisy cardstock, and I want the front to be decorated. So this would be the chance for you to decorate it up, or you can do like what I did, and I cut 2 pieces, and I'm just gonna put those together. So I want to show you a trick if you're gonna do it like I do. So I'm gonna set this aside just for a minute. And then I just have for my card base, okay, some grape cardstock. All right, so the way this works is you first fold on your score lines, and you can see there's some score lines here, and you fold in, and you want to adhere those. Now, you can use, you know, liquid glue, you can use, I'm going to use liquid glue just for speed, but you can use your tape runner. Anyway, just like that. So when you pull this up and down in your card, you're basically, you know, pulling a window, you know, pulling the window up and down in there. So that's your pull. And then this C, you can see there's 2 score lines, and we're just gonna fold that there and fold that there, like that. Now the way this works is you wanna put it on the back like this, and you wanna cover the window. There's no, so I'm gonna put a little glue on here, and a little glue on here, on the little flaps, and then I'm just going to turn it over, and you just want the window covered. So I'm going to push those down, but I'm going to look at the other side and make sure my window has that backing on it. And then I like to, you know, take a bone folder and just kind of crease those a little bit, because it just makes your card lay flatter, but you can kind of see what I've done there. Now, here's the cool part. This thing slides in to that, slides into that little pocket that you've made, okay? Now, on one of my cards, this felt too tight for me. So I cut it down a little bit, and I think what it is that my die cut machine cut it with a little lip, almost like a little, like it bent it instead of cutting it sharp. I need to do something with my die cut machine with that. Okay, sorry, it's hard to do this out in front of me, you guys. Give me just a sec here. I gotta do this in front of me. I'm sorry, my arms are out in front of me. It's really hard to do that without looking into the pocket. It's like, okay, I need more eyes, and it normally just slides right in, but since I'm on camera, it never does what I'm trying to do when I'm on camera. I don't know why that is, but it just doesn't. All right, there we go. Ta-da, okay. So you can see that little window right there is gonna slide up and down. And what we're gonna do, I don't know why it's not sliding real slick. Get it moving. And then this little pull tab goes in the slot. There, okay, that's better. Seriously, I never had problems with this. I should just get a new one out. So there's that. And so here's what we do. This little slider, just like that. We're gonna stamp it, and it will slide it, and it'll show a second image. So I made a couple of these cards to show you. This one is the beer, and remember the beer is, we did it the same way with the mask that I showed you with our VIP card. And then I made this really cute one with the Sounds Like It Hurts set. And I just thought that was adorable. Isn't that cute? Ouch, that sounds like it hurt. Healing vibes. So you can have one image, slide it, and do another image. All right. So put those aside. And let me just... Now we're going to do our stamping. So when you stamp on here, you want it all the way pushed in down. You don't want the window up to the top. You want it pushed in as far as it'll go. That does not want to work good. I should just grab another one and try it. I feel like my mechanism isn't working as well as it normally does. Let me try one more. I'm going to try this one. It only takes a second. So what's everybody doing today? We went over and took those baseballs over to that lady's house next door. And she was so mad at her kids for using the baseballs because she had bought them wiffle balls. But she knew they were, ever since they broke the window, she said she'd been taking them over to the park to play instead so that they wouldn't break any more windows. I'm like, good plan, right? Good plan. Oh, look. Da, that's more like it. I don't know why that one was so hard to move. I'm telling you, I don't usually have any issue at all. Okay. I'm going to slide that into the slot. There. Front. Now you saw me do it twice. Basically, we put the back on, put the front on, and you want this pushed all the way down, and now we can stamp. Now, I want to stamp birthday candles in the window like this, but they are long and they extend past my window, so I don't want that to show. But since I'm going to put this over the top of it anyway, it'll be behind my panel anyway, so I'm not even gonna mask it off. Like normally I would take Post-it tape and mask that off and make a big deal of that, but not gonna have to. Okay, so I'm gonna ink this up good, make sure it's inked up good. Now this takes a little pressure because we're doing a bottom layer, a middle layer. You know, you want it to show really well. So, and you don't want that weird cutoff line in the middle. So, like that. So, if that happens to you, you could do it, with a cushion. I'm like, don't want to have to do this a third time. Try again. Push, push, push. All right. Good enough for show. It's not great, but you get what I'm doing here because this is going to be covered up. And then when you pull this up, that's where you're going to get your entirely second different image. And so on this one, I'm going to do a cake like that. And in grape ink, I'm going to do Eat More Cake. So it will slide down and it'll have all my candles, and it will slide up and say Eat More Cake. So what's happening on the back is that panel is down with one image and up with the other. And so you are looking through a window. You are looking, I know you're like, I get it. But this window is moving up and down so that you can kind of see the background has a split. Okay. And then we would color it, which I will redo that bottom. And then this, what I like to do is slide this over the top and then put adhesive all around, just like this. So and then I just slide this into place and it covers up that part where I didn't mask, and it makes the front, which I think is really, really cute, right? And then I used the It's Your Birthday to put on here. And then I'm going to put this on the panel, and you can pick whether you want it on the darker or the lighter, whichever. But what I like to do, I like to give this a little breathing room. If you make this super snug onto your back, it is hard to glide. And so I like to use just a little bit of foam, not a lot, like real skinny, up here at the top. And then up here, down here at the bottom. You don't want to interfere with your sliding mechanism, you know. And the only place you can put glue is on this C panel, so it will adhere. So that's where you adhere, right there. So you have foam and foam and the glue in the middle. Okay. And then I'm just gonna center that. Easy for me to say. It's so out in front of me. It's so weird. So I have the foam pieces, and then I'm just gonna push down on here. I will color this in, and it will look really cool. Even though I botched the bottom and made it jiggly a little bit, it'll look great. It'll look just fine. And look at that. It's gonna be so cute. And then I have some of the cool dots, you know, that I can decorate with. So, you know, I kind of like the stars. It's your birthday, it's your birthday. So you can put different sizes of stars. These little enamel dot sets that come in different colors are really great. They make, I don't know, they make them in so many colors, and they're kind of fun to have. Ta-da! And I'll probably use my yellow shimmer brush on the flames, because instead of coloring in, you know, with a marker, the shimmer brush adds just a little bit of bling, and it's flat, which is great. So it's gonna look really good. I'll put a picture in the comments when I get it colored in, because I have a lot to show you today. I don't want you to sit here and watch me color the whole time, but you get the idea, right? And then sometimes I even will kind of put some like light up here, like it's glowing. I think that's cool. It'll look really good. Okay, so there's that, and then I would just attach that to a card front, and on the inside I would use, you know, happy birthday or another candle on your cake, or what, you know, something, a message on the inside. Cool. Okay, Now, so let me show you those other ones just one more time, just so you can see what they look like. There's the ouch one, and it slides up. So you can see I stamped the ouch, that sounds like it hurt, on the front. I stamped a bunch of little colored hearts. And then this one, when I colored it, I did it like ombre. So I used the tri-blend markers, and I started with the light color and then the medium color, and then I switched to a, you know, like the medium color of this, and then the lighter color, and then, you know, I just went light, medium, dark on here. So it just kind of has like a graduated coloring. I didn't even really blend. I just colored a stripe of each. And I thought that turned out really cute. And that little rainbow is part of the set, which I hadn't even noticed right there until I was looking for something else to put on that card, you know? The Band-Aid looks real. Okay, and then the beer one I showed you how to do in the VIB card with the masking. And I just think that's adorable. My dad's birthday's coming up. That'll be a perfect card for him. Okay, so now I have a whole bunch of, maybe not a whole bunch, but I have quite a few things to show you. And one of the things I want to show you is how to copy a layout. So you may remember I did, sorry, I'm cleaning up my mess before I do this. You may remember in one of my lives, I made this layout, and I was just guesstimating how big the squares were. And I decided I'm going to show you the real way to do it instead of like me, where I just sort of guess all the time. So let's just say you want to make this layout. You really like it, but you can't figure out like how many inches is that? How big a strip is that? Now see, myself, I would look at that and go, well, that's probably about 3 inches. That's about an inch. I would just make it approximate. But if, let's say you really don't know how big it is, you really are curious. The first thing you do is you take a piece of scratch paper and you cut it to the size of the layout. Now, normally the layouts are all different in here. If I wanted to copy this one, it is 3 and like 5/8 inches or whatever. But if I wanted to copy this one, for example, it is 6 3/4. So I would have to cut a 6 3/4 scrap of cardstock to figure that one out. So let's just do this small one. So this is 3 5/8, scratch paper, 3 5/8. So the first thing you do is you fold it in half, and then open it up and fold it in half the other way. That would give you your 6-inch lines, right? If you had a 12-inch piece of paper, it would be 6 here and 6 there, right? So since we folded it again, let's fold it one more time, lengthwise. And that helps us get a grid of sizes, right? I mean, so essentially what we've done is we've made this the 6-inch mark, this the 3-inch mark, and this the 9-inch mark. And this would be 1, and this would be 12, right? So now it's much easier to figure out, like you can approximate half it, and this would be, 1.5, or you can do 2 marks in between, and that would be 4 and 5, and this would be 7 and 8. So you're basically making yourself a ruler, right? One and 2. There we go. Okay, so we're basically making ourselves a ruler for this layout. So then you can hold it up to here and you can say this piece goes to the 3-inch mark. So this top floral piece is 3 inches and it goes across the whole thing, so it's 12. And then this one is a 1 inch. It goes from 3 to 4, so that's a 1 inch piece. So that helps you when you're trying to recreate layouts. Let's say we're gonna do this one right here. We have our whole piece, it fits, and it's a 12-inch by 12-inch layout. And the main piece of paper, we have 2 pieces we really need to cut. And one is that background piece that has all the sparklers on it, fireworks on it. And so to measure that, it is 6 inches long. So I'm just measuring from the edge of my paper to here, to the edge of that. So it is a 6-inch piece of paper, okay? And then we have this white piece, and if you wanted to measure that, it looks like about 10.5. It hits right at the 10.5 mark. So where you might look at this and think they left a 1-inch border all around, it's actually like a 3/4 inch border. So that's how you measure that, 10.5. And so you would cut that 10.5 square for the white piece. And then the photos, you can look at your photos. That is a 3x4 photo. That is a 3x3 photo. I mean, you would not have to make it exact. This is a 4x4 and this is a 3x4. So there you go. That's how you can recreate those layouts fairly easily using your own homemade ruler. So basically you fold it in half, and then, fold it into quarters and create your cool ruler right there. Okay, so that's my trick I wanted to share today, which I should have shown you when I made that Hey Handsome layout, because, oh my gosh, it would have been easier. All right, I'm gonna raise this up a bit just so it will show my whole layout and I'm not having to move around everything. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. Okay, so layout number 1 is the mix-in pack. Every catalog at the end of the papers has a mix-in pack that is like an extra pack that coordinates with the other papers. And so you can see I used the wood grain for the background, and then I used both of these papaya pieces, both of these, and both of these. This is front and back, so I just cut extra. But basically I recreated that Hey Handsome layout, and I used the Operation Smile stamp set. The Operation Smile stamp set is called Change the World. It's on the back cover of every catalog. It is the one where the donations go to Operation Smile. The people who are consultants who are like selling a lot of Operation Smile sets get to go on extra trips for, like, they go and they fix hair lips and do surgeries on children around the world. And so this is a really big, it's a big deal. There's a group at Carl that does this also. I had the chance to go one time and I did not go, and I kind of regret it. But this is close to my heart's charity. And look how beautiful those flowers are. And I just used my ink pads to watercolor that. I've shown that a million times. Look at that palette. It's so soft and it's so pretty. That's what I used. So I just thought that turned out really nice, and that was just mix-ins. and scraps. I mean, you know, 2-inch squares. I love it so much. Okay, so there's that one. And then I use the mix-ins again, that same palette. And I didn't, this flower set is a retired set, but it's still available online. But you could use any flower set. And what I did was I took 6-inch pieces of paper and I rolled them so you can see it's super dimensional. They're paper rolls. I did smush them down just a little bit, but I wanted it to be a little dimensional because I have some, like, they're kind of like shadow boxes from Michaels that are 12 by 12. And these look so nice on the wall when they have some dimension. You just curl up your flowers and make them, you know, just adhere them, but not like flat to the page like you're going to put them in an album. You can make them super dimensional, and you can change this out with the seasons. And I have some Disney ones that I've started to make dimensional like this because, you know, my house is kind of Disney themed, and I like having scrapbook layouts on the walls instead of artwork. So, or I should say instead of purchased artwork. But anyway, I love it. I love these colors. It's a soft color. This is the one that I posted on my page the other day. It's a 2-page layout. It looks a little busy, but what graduation celebration isn't busy? So I used all of those really, that stamp set looks so nothing in the catalog. It just doesn't look like much. And I bought it thinking that it kind of coordinates with this paper. It kind of looks like that paper. So I thought, well, that'll be perfect, right? I'm gonna get that. Where is it in here? I'm like, I don't have my catalog memorized, obviously, but it's a really fun, I'll get it out later, but it is a really fun stamp set. It's just circles like this, and look what happens when you stamp them in all these different colors, and it has streamers. And just imagine if you did them all in just 2 colors or the same color. But you know, it's supposed to kind of mimic fireworks. It's that kind of season with the red, white, and blue papers and stuff. But I did it for Taylor's graduation, and I used a PML card. I had just a few of them left, and I used the graduation set that makes this really cool hat. Now, I have handmade my own hats for graduation cards for the last 3 or 4 years because I've had so many, and this was so much easier. So it's such a weird angle, and I just felt like I would cut it and cut it and cut it and try to get it right, and it took me forever. This is like page 2 of this celebration, and I wanted to point out to you, this is not all that spectacular, except that I used, this is a PML card that I cut up, and I used it here and here. This is a PML card that has journaling space, and so I used one here and one over here. And then this is a PML card that I cut down and left space for journaling. This is a PML card that makes a great backing for a photo. And then I used flip flaps on the page so that I took all these pictures of everybody at the restaurant, and I did not get a single good picture of everyone at the restaurant. So I sort of hid them in flip flaps. So they're not the first thing you see is everybody pigging out, but I still wanted the pictures to remember who was there. So, okay, now we're gonna move on to Hey Handsome, because I know this paper is sold out, but you could use this layout style for any paper pack. I just recently used up all of my, that used up my Hello Darling for the graduation. I'm gone. It's gone. My Cosette is gone, except for I have a few sheets of bulk. If anybody wants it, you just say the word and it's yours. And then I have just a few sheets left of this, but not much. So I have been using this left and right. And what I love about this is it used my scraps. I had this paper that I gutted, and then put a white page on the top, and then just 1-inch strips of each of the patterns, and it turned out great. And this is kind of similar to that one where it's like almost like a puzzle of your photos. And I thought I used a PML card here, here, and here, and here. So there's 4 PML cards on this page. So that's kind of a neat idea if you're running out of pattern paper to use those. Close to My Heart has announced they're not going to sell PML cards with future collections. They just don't sell great enough, but they are amazing for me because I use them like this. I don't pocket scrapbook as much as I used to, but I do use PML cards a lot. All right, this page, I just wanted to have fun with some stamping. I saw this page online. One of the makers did it on her video, and I wanted to recreate it in my own style. And so I used PML cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the rest is just basically strips of paper. This spotty paper right here is a mix-in from like 2 catalogs ago. So the mix-in papers, a lot of them are kind of generic enough, you can use them. This is that cool stamp set that I showed you with the splotches and the X's and, you know, swipes, and that's how you use these. See how it has like little spatters and that kind of thing. Okay, and then I just matted some photo mats, and I thought this will be great for photos when I decide which ones I want to use, because I hadn't put photos on them yet, and I really like this for journaling, but I could cover it up with a picture. There's no reason I couldn't. As a matter of fact, that's what I was thinking of on that other page too, is it'd be really easy to just cover up your PML cards with photo. It doesn't matter. It looks cool when you create it, but if you need the space for photos, that's priority, right? Okay, so here I did the same thing. I had this wood grain background from the past. You know, last year, wood grain, we had that whole pack of different wood grains, and this came from that. And then I had scraps. These are zip strips, a scrap of that Tweety paper, and this paper from Hey Handsome. And then I never thought in a billion years I would use a top hat and tie, but here I am with the top hat. It says a gentleman always wears a smile. And then this PML card said the rules of being a gentleman, and it has all these things on here of mind your manners, say please and thank you, don't curse, etc. And I am going to cover that up, like cross it out, and put the rules of driving on the track on there, because there's a lot of rules of driving on the racetrack that you have to know in order to drive on the racetrack. And so I just thought that that would be funny. You know, that would be like a clever use of that card. But I really like how this one turned out, and I have specific pictures for this one. So, and you can see I put on the acrylic embellishments and all kinds of stuff on that. So this one's ready to go other than journaling and a few photos. And then here's one that I did. I had just a little bit left, and I saw on Pink Fresh Studio, they do blog hops on their Instagram feed, where they have all these different people who use their products, and they're major product hogs. Like they are not focusing on the photos. They're focusing on the art that you put on the page, which is fun. It's fun. And the way photos are now, they're not so special. I mean, like, you don't get one chance to do your 6th grade picture, and it's the only one you've got. It's not like that. You can print like a dozen of these and do them different ways, or, you know, mess them up, or whatever you want to do. I did this one on, this color is called Rosemary, and it's kind of a green gray. And I wanted it to be kind of masculine looking. So I used the hexagons. That was my inspiration from Pink Fresh, was the hexagons. I thought that was cool. And then you might notice this piece right here is metallic. That is a Stampin' Up! Embossing folder, and I just took a piece of silver and ran it through, and I used it almost like a washi tape on all 4 of my photos. And then I popped up some of the hexagons on foam tape, and some of them are flat. And Schnell is a German word. I don't know how many of you are German. We have a very German family. That means fast. No limits. My nephew, he does autocross, and he has won 1st place in every single race. He has won done except for one. So he is, you should see him. He has medals that just drip off. They don't know what to do with them all. He has so many medals, but he goes to Rantoul, and he is big time into autocross. So he likes to bring his car over and work on it at our house once in a while. So I used retired things from the car stuff, some other sets, and the Stampin' Up! Strip. I used flip flaps on this again. It's kind of like I wanted it on 2 pages, but I didn't want it to be like so, I don't know, I didn't want to start going into 4 pages and 6 pages, and so I can put them all on 2 pages when I use flip flaps, which is really nice. See, I could even put another picture on there if I wanted to. And then I had these chrome silver metal looking embellishments that I thought looked really cool on here. In real life, it's not quite so dark. I've noticed that when I took a picture of it, it looked dark. Oh, Stephanie, I forgot. I have one other one I want to show you. Just a sec. Let me grab it. So this is not close to my heart at all. This is Club Scrap. But do you recognize this, Stephanie? This is from that Wings or Birds, or I didn't even remember the name of it, but it was a set that we hated. Birds on Wings, Wings on Bird. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a bird set, and it had all these weird birds in it, and I was like, I hate that. But it worked out perfect. I had this layout kind of set up, and this is my nephew's slingshot. I don't know if you've seen those. Those are like 3-wheeled cars, and I used up a lot of the Club Scrap. Remember, these are from Club Scrap. They're so old. Oh my gosh. So it was so nice to get into my stash. I know, the colors look great, and it was the ugliest set. We both complained about this one. We were both like, ew, it's so ugly. But I like how it turned out. And then this was a page I did from that Pink Fresh. I I didn't totally copy it, but it was from one of their blog hops on Instagram. I used what I had left, and I have a plan for a photo on here of my daughter outdoors. She's kind of weird about me putting her photo on here. I don't do that very often, but it'll be perfect for that. And then this was done with leftovers from that Pink Fresh set. And then this one is done. This was that one from that travel set. This was such a weird thing. They took the cover of the paper pack had all these squares on it that showed the papers that are inside the pack. And they took those squares and they cut them out of the cover. And then each one is put on with, like, it's attached on one side and then curled up on the other. So it's attached and then curled, attached and curled, attached and curled. And then, like I said, they're real heavy on embellishments. So there's a lot of embellishments all over it. And then I was kind of messing around with, you know, like where you would put a photo. And I just decided I'm going to embellish the heck out of it and make it look cool. And I will figure out photos later. Because I think what they did was little 2x2 photos, and they just covered up. Like, this one is not anything special, so they would just put a 2x2 photo, you know, one on each layer or something. Anyway, I just thought that was really cute, and it didn't take very long because I cut the squares out of the cover. Go figure. Anyway, woo! So, what do you think? It's a lot today. It's been an hour. I just need to color this now. I might make a few more. I think they're really fun. These are really fun. And then next week, I am excited to show you, I'm going to use Melon Madness. I've got my Melon Madness paper. I've got the leftovers of my mix-ins. And I'm gonna make a cool page. I have a plan. So I haven't scrapbooked on my videos for a little while. So that's my plan next week. And then the week after that, we're going through the new catalog because it's gonna be really fun. Lots of fun. All right. I hope you have a great afternoon. I gotta go figure out what my husband's up to since he got off 2 hours early today. So, oh yeah, they did the tiny ones on the other paper set. Okay, so I must have just did it with the one I kept. You know, I don't always keep the cover of paper collections. To me, it's an ad. It's a cover. It's something that you know, use to protect the rest of your paper. I don't think about using it on a page, so I have to relook at all of my supplies differently now. So, all right. Thank you guys. I hope that my little ruler trick helped so you can recreate your own pages too. You don't have to do everything from scratch. You can make other copies of other people's. So, all right. Have a great day. Bye.